Hi there, Glenn King is the Cold-Hearted Appraiser here for another vlog. Today we're going to help out divorce attorneys and those involved in divorce. So I've seen it happen, and we want to ask the question, is it a good idea to use Zillow as a starting point for divorce valuations? So let's talk about Zillow and all the other algorithms, Redfin, Trulia, all the other ones. They're all fairly similar. The first thing about all these algorithms is they're secret. We have no idea what they're putting into them, how they're arriving at their value. So that's number one. Number two, in analyzing Zillow when you're looking on it, it doesn't seem to take into account city boundaries or location of any kind, something next to a busy street or a school. It doesn't seem to consider that. And if your property has not been on a computerized MLS, Zillow only has basic information. They basically have the public records information, but they don't have any prior pictures, any knowledge of remodeling or no remodeling. Sometimes not even if it has a pool or anything like that. And it's heavily influenced by pricing on MLS. So a home valued at $1.2 million on Zillow that hasn't been on the market for a long time, say it's listed for $1.8 million, because most likely the seller has unrealistic expectations. Well, within days, Zillow is going to show that thing somewhere near $1.8 million. And even if it's worth $1.1 million or finally sells for that, it's going to be up at that point for a time just because it was listed at that. And I just did an estate appraisal where Zillow had it at $2.7 million, Redfin had it at $2.8 million, how they can be $100,000 apart. That's a pretty big difference. But my appraised value came in at $3.1 million. The property had an incredible view and a few other things that made it worth more. So I've also seen where Zillow has it way too high. I've seen where Zillow has it at a 2.4 number and it's actually worth less than $2 million. It's been very inconsistent. Sometimes it's high, sometimes it's low. They don't seem to have the proper comparable selection parameters. They don't seem to drive it based on what a buyer would select as a potential comparable. And the only time it is ever even close is if there's a recent sale on the property, like it sold 2 years ago, and there's been no changes. They're pretty good at market trending, but outside of that, it doesn't seem to be accurate. So the important thing to remember is that Zillow is clickbait. Of course, everyone wants to know the value of the home, and Zillow promises to give you a value. We don't know if it's right, but they'll give you a value, and people are happy with that. So the answer to the question, is Zillow a good starting point for a divorce valuation? No, it is not a good starting point for a divorce valuation. You definitely want to start with an appraisal, or at least an appraisal taking a look at data for you to give you a much clearer picture of what a house might truly be worth. Thank you.